Okay, good morning everyone. Happy New Year! Okay, palakpakan po tayo. Let's have a good start for this year. So it's 2019 and welcome to our COF 109. And as we all know, 2019 is the year of the pig. So bawal po ang diet. Okay lang po tayong mag-only rice. Okay, without much further ado, ito po ay ating mga pampag-good vibes this morning. Of course, we are very fortunate na nandito po ang ating Deputy Administrator for Research and Development, of course. And just segue po, she just celebrated her birthday last January 20. So, happy birthday, Ma'am Flaby. Naalala po namin lagi ang birthday. Ayan po. Yes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Yes, ayan po ang handa. Okay, let's give her a warm up applause. Happy birthday, Ma'am Flaby. And with that, we would like to ask her for her opening remarks. Dr. Flaviana D. Hilario.
Maraming salamat, Bel. At kinakalimutan ko na sana yung birthday ko eh. Isang taon na lang. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Morning po. At sabi nga kanina ni Bel ay Happy New Year. On behalf of our administrator, Dr. Vicente Malano, who is now on official trip to Bohol, on the invitation of the Governor of Bohol, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to this 109 Climate Outlook Forum. You know, during the past month, PAGASA has been in the limelight, particularly due to Tropical Depression Osman. And I know that you have read many news, and PAGASA has also issued our own statement, which you can find in our website, regarding what happened during Tropical Depression Osman. The head of our weather division is here, Dr. Esperanza Kayanan. And of course, the group of the Weather Division and the group of Flood Forecast, the Hydromet Division has been very busy during that time, considering that it started late January until New Year. Kaya po hindi sila nag-holiday. I think today you will be given updates, particularly on our El Nino, ano ba tayo ngayon? Watch ba? Or El Nino Watch. And of course, many are asking whether it will really push through or not, so that we can plan ahead of time. And we will hear these updates later on. And of course, we will also discuss what happened during the last month. And I hope that you will really participate during the open forum. And if you have any suggestions, comments, we will welcome them for the improvement of our services here in PAGASA. So with that, again, good morning to everyone. And I hope that you enjoy the day today. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Ma'am Flaby. So there you have it. We have a very exciting day today. And of course, we're always very thankful po kasi we have our mga stakeholders na palaging nandito. So to start off, nakikita niyo yung mga red people there from Philippine Red Cross. Thank you, and also from German Red Cross, Sir Damien, thank you. Kaya po nag-i-English ako. Also from Snap Aboitiz, thank you very much for coming. From Philippine Coconut Authority, thank you very much. Of course, from Meralco, thank you. From Northwind Luzon, thank you very much, sir. Philippine Sugar Millers Association, thank you, sir. From Philippine Air Force, thank you very much, sir. Of course, from FAO, thank you very much. From Office of Civil Defense, thank you, sir. From Philippine Electric Market Corporation, PMC, thank you very much, ma'am, sir. From PIA, thank you very much. Of course, from DA Region 3, thank you very much. From Transco, thank you very much, ma'am, sir. From NPC, thank you. From NIA Pantabangan, thank you very much. From Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, thank you po, ma'am. From NWRB, thank you very much. From Philippine Navy, thank you. From QC General Environmental Protection, thank you very much po. Of course, GMA Mang Tani, thank you, sir, for always coming here. And ang atin pong mga executive staff, of course, Dr. Flaviana Di Hilario, Ma'am Edna Wanillo, Chief CAD, Dr. Esperanza Kayanan, Chief WD, Dr. Cynthia Celebre, Chief RDTD. Of course, we have some section chief, Miss Charmy Monteverde, HT Mirds, RDTD, Engineer Romy Pelayo of ETSD. Thank you, sir. Miss Sharon Juliet Arrejo from RDTD also. Of course, Miss Annalisa Solis from CLIMS. And Miss Maria Faye Villamora, OIC of Farm Weather Services Section. Miss Rosalina De Guzman from CADS, CLIMS. And also our colleagues from Research and Development and also Operations and Services. And some from the admin. Thank you very much po for coming. And we will start with our weather update para po malaman natin what are we expecting in the next few days. Of course, here with us, Mr. Nikos Peñaranda from Weather Forecasting to give us the update. Sir Nikos.
Okay, good morning everyone. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. So, para sa ating scenario, of course, pinapakita dito. So, I'm showing here, the area where you have this circle is where the remnants of Tropical Depression Amang is located. So, right now, it's you can see that it's more doesn't look like a much of a tropical depression or low pressure area. So, ibig sabihin, tuwiran pong humina itong low pressure system na ito dahil nga sa nakikita natin, we can see this feature, itong cloudiness, long cloudiness over this region. That is the delineation of the cool, relatively cool and drier air from the Amihan or the northeast monsoon or the winter monsoon. And then, of course, the warmer tropical air you can see is in this region. So this means that there is actually a cold front on the far northeastern domain, northeast of the country, but it is actually extending just east of Luzon and towards the circulation of the low pressure area. So yung tail end ng cold front natin, hindi po direkta naka-apekto sa bansa because of this remnants of Amang low pressure area. However, as you can see, it's still providing this strong winds coming from northern part of the domain, so southern Japan and China. So yung Amihan natin, dahil may low pressure area and then there is a high pressure system over much of Eastern Asia. So kung meron tayong low at high na magkatabi halos, malakas yung hangin dito sa area na to. So strong winds are prevailing on the open seas east of Luzon. So, of course, we have this remnant low pressure system has low chance of redeveloping into a tropical depression. Mababa yung chance nito at ngunit nakakatulong nga ito. It is facilitating for the prevailing winds in east of Luzon as well as for the wet weather still currently experienced over eastern Visayas and parts of eastern Luzon. Okay. So you can also see here at the far east, close to the Central Pacific, meron tayong lupon na mga kaulapan or a cluster of clouds. So we are actually monitoring that. But for the next 5 days, the chances of for any tropical cyclone development which will affect the country is low. Although this may develop, pero this cloud cluster may or may, so it's still there's still high uncertainty o mababa pa ang chance na ito po ay makakapekto sa ating bansa next week or sa susunod na mga linggo. Okay. So of course I've mentioned the strong winds associated with the northeast monsoon. So as far as coastal waters and the seaboards of the country are concerned, so we can see these large areas demarcated by this red region. These are areas with having gale warning. So ibig sabihin, mapanganib pong maglayag sa mga areas na yan dahil nga malalakas ang alon, matataas ang alon at mapanganib po especially dun sa maliliit na sasakyang pandagat. So gale warning is warning of pag-asa specifically for shipping and fishing vessels. So maritime warning po ito sa karagatan. Of course, coastal waters in these regions were also experienced high waves along the coast of those provinces. So from the Ilocos provinces all the way to the coastal areas of northern Samar due to the strong northeast monsoon or Amihan, aided by the remnant of Tropical Depression Amang. Okay, so let us see the progression. So this is actually an animation for the entire day today. So the darker areas depict stronger winds, and of course lighter colors depict weaker winds. So as you can see, as the day progresses, the strong winds actually slightly weakens. So that means that the gale force, strong to gale force winds, which is the reason for the gale warning, may still hold true for the rest of the day. So, but we can see that there's a tendency of weakening of the winds on the eastern seaboards of Luzon. And makikita din natin this circulation, clockwise circulation turning, and then this strong flow going towards the Indonesia. Ito po yung Indonesia, ito yung Pilipinas. Yan po yung circulation ng Amihan. And then we can see this demarcation of the strong winds. Ayan po yung extent ng Amihan. So, pag meron tayong amihan dito, tapos ito, galing dito lang sa baba, mainit-init na hangin, yung parte po na yan, lagi pong maulap. So yan yung, kaya naman, and of course, dahil nga galing sa silangan, it's an easterly wind, this moisture is being pushed towards the eastern parts of the country. And then, of course, okay. So let's see the progression of this. By tomorrow, we can see lightening of this region. So ibig sabihin, mukhang humihina yung hangin according to this animation. And then we can also see that the high pressure is already moved towards Japan. So kaya naman, and medyo humina yung hangin. And of course, if we compare today and then tomorrow, nawala na yung circulation. So there's a high chance that the remnant low level circulation or low pressure area may dissipate or further weaken. But we still have this strong, although much weaker northeast monsoon prevailing wind. And then come Friday, we can see further weakening of this northeast monsoon over the eastern seas of over the Philippine Sea due to the further or high chance of dissipation of the low pressure area. So again, as I said earlier, if there is a low pressure area and then there's a high pressure area, the winds in between them are strong. Since the low pressure area has dissipated, so there's significant weakening of the winds for as far as the next 3 days is concerned. Okay, what will be the rainfall scenario? So this is one of the for purposes of visualization. So I've selected this model, although PAGASA uses different models for weather prediction. So basically, this means that the rainfall associated with the low pressure area, the weakening low pressure area, and then also the strong northeast monsoon is still concentrated over parts of eastern Visayas and parts of Bicol. And as you can see over there, this is actually the total rainfall for each day. So as we can see, the significant ones are above 50 millimeters for the whole day, for the 24-hour period. So as we can see, much of the rainfall are in the yellows, and although there is a orange area here, still the chances of it reaching or dumping all the rainfall over the Bicol region or inland is still minimal. So minimal. Although ang sinasabi lang dito, maulan yung panahon dito sa Bicol and parts of eastern Visayas. Pero as far as the threshold is concerned, there's a low chance that the rainfall will be at a significant level for the next 3 days over that areas. But of course, nimo-monitor pa rin ito. We're continue monitoring the areas, and of course the regional PAGASA regional offices are monitoring these areas because as we know, if you have rainfall from the previous weeks, kahit konting ulan kasi, dahil saturated yung soils natin, ay medyo may konting risk dun sa areas na yan. Okay, so what will happen for the next few days? There is slight increase in rainfall over parts of Samar or eastern Visayas, pero mainly offshore, so just along the coastal areas, and then diminishing over Visayas and Luzon, napupunta na siya dun sa may area ng Mindanao, receding southward. So by Sunday, makita natin na yung rainfall area is shifting towards the south. This is due to the weakening of the Amihan or northeast monsoon for this week. So makita natin doon sa wind profile kanina pinakita ko, hihina yung Amihan, kaya yung mga ulan din mapupunta southward doon sa area na to. Okay. So what will be the outlook for today? Gale force winds will still prevail over northern Samar and a large part of northern and eastern Luzon. So along the coastal areas of northern Samar, and then from the Ilocos provinces all the way to the eastern parts or the east coast of Bicol region. So hence the gale warning that is lifted in hoisted in those areas. And then for the rainfall condition, scattered rain showers, which may bring periods of moderate and at times heavy rains, particularly in eastern Visayas, will be experienced. Bicol region, maulan yung panahon, pero nakikita natin na for the whole day, wala naman tayong mababa yung tsansa ng magkaroon ng significant weather for today. And then for our extended outlook, so gale force winds will easen or weaken, hence possible lifting of the gale warning over the east coast of Luzon. Pero northeast monsoon will still prevail over Luzon, bringing good weather to much of northern Luzon and central Luzon. And then periods of wet weather is still high chance of wet weather with scattered rain showers is possible over Bicol region, Eastern Visayas. So maulan pa rin yung panahon na inaasahan natin dito sa Bicol region and Eastern Visayas, although it's still below, those areas are, we're not seeing significant or bad weather for the outlook period. Low chance of bad weather. Scattered rain showers developing over northeastern Mindanao during the latter part of the outlook period. And then, for the next 5 days, we're not expecting any tropical cyclone. Wala tayong bagyong inaasahan na makakaapekto sa bansa. Although merong possibility na dun sa malayong area, sa may Central Pacific, may mabuo, pero there's still a low chance na ito'y makaapekto for the next few weeks at this time. So yun po ang latest weather update. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nikos. So yun po, this is very important so we can plan our weekend activities. So we are not expecting any tropical cyclone for this coming weekend, but still we will monitor. And of course, it's not only our weather that we would like to have an update, but also the status of our dams. And with that, we would like to call on the hydrologist from the Hydrometeorological Division, Mr. Edgar de la Cruz, for the status of the dams. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good morning po. Ako po si Mr. Edgar de la Cruz sa Hydromet Division. So, ipapakita natin yung mga major dams natin dito sa Luzon. As of January 23, 6 a.m., yung anggat nasa 212.25. So, above normal pa rin yung anggat. At kung titignan natin, yung rule curve niya is 204 and the normal high is 212 and yung present elevation niya is 212.25. So kahit na walang pag-ulan, nasa above normal high pa rin siya. And estimated rainfall para ma-maintain yung 212 eh mga 3 mm na rainfall. So ang Ipo Dam nasa 101, so normal. And La Mesa is nasa 73.42. Itong Ambuklao and Binga, ito yung nasa upstream ng San Roque Dam. Kung titignan natin, yung San Roque Dam is nasa 276.65 at below normal high. Pero ano pa rin siya, and below and above the rule curve. So masasabi natin na most of the dam ay nasa normal elevation pa. Kung makikita natin yung Pantabangan, nasa 214.77, so below normal high pero above rule curve. And ang Magat Dam naman po na nasa Ramon Isabela, and present elevation niya is 189.09. At ang rule curve niya is 190.41. So makikita natin na medyo mababa na yung Magat sa maging normal. Kasi ang magiging basihan natin dyan from day-to-day elevation ng mga dams, itong rule curve. So, kung i-compare natin yung Angat Dam 2 years ago, yung i-compare natin siya noong 2018 tsaka 2017, makikita natin yung dark color na blue. Yan yung present elevation natin. And the red is the normal high. At yung yellow line, yan po yung rule curve. So, makikita nun po natin na nasa normal high yung Angat Dam sa ngayon. And then yung San Roque Dam po, Ganun din ba, yung dark color, yun yung present elevation niya. So kung compare natin siya, parang siya yung 2017 ng elevation. So masasabi natin na safe pa yung dams natin dahil sa above rule curve pa rin siya. And then ito yung pantabangan, yung dark color niya, siya yung nag-umpisa ng mataas compared dun sa 2017 and 2018 elevation. So, masasabi pa rin natin na safe yung dami ng tubig ng pantabangan. At ito nga po yung Magat Dam na medyo mababa siya dun sa rule curve. Kung mapapansin po natin yung dark color. Kasi nag-umpisa yung Magat Dam ng pagpasok ng New Year na medyo mababa. Tumaas lang siya nung pumasok yung Tropical Depression Usman hanggang sa naging depression na umabot yung kanyang cloud band hanggang dun sa may Isabela area. So kahit na mga light rains lang yung tumama dun sa Magat dahil sa malaki yung kanyang watershed, nagre-react agad yung dams. So, ito yung assessment level for February. Kung makikita po natin yung dam allocation na 67 ng Angat, halimbawa, yan yung kanilang ilalabas dun sa kanilang reservoir. At sabihin natin na zero rainfall ng buong February. Ang magiging projection po namin is 205 meters. Pero above rule curve pa rin siya sa 197. Para ma-reach niya yung 212, kailangan niya ng 243 millimeters of rainfall. And then ang San Roque po, kung makikita natin yung dam allocation na 7, may makikita po tayo dito na 39 forecast basin rainfall, 39, 16, 61, and 31. Yan po yung forecast rainfall ng February. Pero itong makikita natin mga numero na 205.62 na Angat, 269 ang San Roque, 207 ng Pantabangan and 182.62 ng Magat. Project namin yan na zero rainfall. Yan ang magiging elevation niya at the end of February ng magiging elevation niya. Yan ang aming magiging ang aming forecast water elevation. At itong nadidito naman sa dulo, ito yung estimated rainfall to reach normal high. Ito po yung mga numero niya. Kung makikita natin, ang Magat, 96 lang. Kasi nabanggit ko nga, kahit light rains lang yung pumapatak dun sa Magat, nagre-react agad yung elevation niya kasi napakalaki nung catchment basin ng Magat Dam. Ayun lang po, sa Hydromet Division, magandang umaga po at marami pong salamat.
Thank you, Sir Edgar. So yun po, and then we would like to acknowledge po the presence of our partners from BSWM. Thank you very much po for coming. And also Miss Gia from FAO. Thank you. Okay, so let's continue. To have the review of the climate conditions from December 2018 up to January 2019, we would like to call on Ms. Jeran Marie Duran of CLIMS. Ms. Jeran, are you ready?
Hello po, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. So, okay po, ako po ay naatasan magbigay ng review for December to January 21 of 2019. So, ano ba po yung laman ng presentation ko? So, the usual po natin na review is magbibigay po tayo ng past ENSO condition or ano bang nangyari doon sa Central and East Tropical Pacific. Noong December and January of 2018 and 19. Then kung ano ba yung mga weather systems na nakaapekto sa atin for the past month. Then assessment natin in terms of rainfall and temperature for the past month and of course summary. So before that, bago ako dumako sa ating update dun sa ating ENSO, alam ko pong isa sa mga katanungan nyo is, bakit hindi pa nagde-declare ang pag-asa ng El Nino Advisory? Bakit hindi pa tayo, meron na ba talagang El Nino? Nararanasan na ba natin ang El Nino? So, ang mga climatologists po natin ay tumitingin ng mga criteria para magsabi na meron ng El Nino. And these are the criteria na tinitignan ng mga climatologists natin. So, una is tinitignan natin yung ating sea surface temperature or SST. Anong tinitignan nating indicator dyan is yung tinatawag natin Oceanic Nino Index. So, para magkaroon ng El Nino, dapat ang ating Oceanic Nino Index or ONI ay may sustained na sea surface temperature anomaly na mas mataas sa 0.5. Ibig sabihin, sa madaling sabi, is dapat mainit yung ating temperatura ng dagat. Next po na tinitignan natin is tinatawag nating trade winds. So in a typical scenario, yung trade winds po natin is yung hangin natin over malapit sa equator na nagsasalubong. And usually, ang prevailing natin dyan is easterlies. Or ito yung tinatawag nating hangin mula sa silangan. So in a typical El Nino pattern, dapat po yung ating trade winds ay sobrang hina. So kung sobrang hina po ng ating easterlies is nakakapasok po yung hangin mula sa kanluran, which is nagkakaroon ng pagbaliktad ng direksyon ng hangin over the tropical Pacific. So yun po yung pangalawang criteria natin. And last criteria po na tinitingnan din natin is yung ating atmospheric indicator, which is the difference of pressure mula doon sa gitnang Pacific at dito sa may bandang Australia. So difference actually ng pressure between Tahiti and Darwin. So dapat in a typical El Nino pattern, mas mababa yung pressure dito sa may gitnang Pacific compared dito sa western part. So, magiging negative dapat yung ating SOI. So, SOI of lesser than 7 dapat yung sustain. So, for the ONI, dapat po is meron tayong 5 consecutive months na ang mean is na 3 rank manning mean na more than 0.5, yun yung pressure naman po natin is dapat sustained siya for 3 months. So, dapat matagal po nakikita natin na pasok yung mga criteria na to. So, tingnan po natin yung current condition natin sa seasort ng SST or temperatura ng dagat. So, ito po ay sea surface temperature anomaly from October to January. So, kung red, ibig sabihin, mainit over the Nino region or sa box na yan, and blue is mas malamig. So, kung mapapansin po natin for the past few months is medyo mas mainit kaysa sa normal yung temperatura ng dagat. Which is, yung sea surface temperature natin is nasa El Nino level. So, check, sustained, tumama siya or pumasok yung criteria niya for the sea surface temperature. Next naman po is, tignan natin yung sa trade winds. So, ito po ay region over the Pacific. So, sinasabi po natin kanina na meron tayong easterlies dun sa tropical Pacific and ang criteria is dapat mahina siya. So, this is the mean and this is the anomaly. So, kung mapapansin natin, ang color ng anomaly is within green. Green is around 0. So, ibig sabihin, hindi humihina yung trade winds natin, bagkus halos nasa normal lang yung ating trade winds. So, in short, yung trade winds natin ay hindi ganon kahina. So, ibig sabihin, hindi niya na-satisfy yung pangalawang criteria. And lastly is, yung ating Southern Oscillation Index, dapat daw is less than 0.7 siya. So, I mean, minus 7 siya. So, this is the SOI from January 2018 to January of 2019. So, kung mapapansin natin, is for the past months, ang white is over na neutral, and ito po yung La Nina natin, ito po yung El Nino. So, makapansin natin, is nasa positive part pa siya. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya pumapasok ulit sa criteria natin na sustain dapat siya na negative SOI. So, in short, SOI is generally within the neutral threshold. So, ito pong mga criteria na to ang dapat masatisfy para mag-declare tayo ng El Nino. Bagkus, hindi po siya pumasok doon sa criteria natin. So, as of now, hindi pa po nagde-declare ang PAGASA for El Nino. So, tignan naman natin, since yung SST po natin is nasa El Nino level naman. So, tignan po natin yung recent natin na sea surface temperature anomaly. So, as of January 14 of 2019, is, yung tinitignan natin Nino 3.4 is bumaba siya ng 0, ngayon is nasa 0.4 degrees Celsius na siya. So, tignan natin yung mga past weekly sea surface temperature anomaly. So, this is from January 2018 to January of 2019. So, kung makikita po natin, is nag-increase siya from September, then nag-peak siya ng around November, December, and then ngayon is gradually bumababa yung ating sea surface temperature anomaly. So, base po dito, ang PAGASA ay nakataas pa rin ang ENSO alert system since hindi pa po tayo nag-El Nino, since hindi nga natin nasasatisfy pa yung condition. So, atmospheric indicators such as cloudiness, trade winds, and SOI does not show response to ocean temperatures for El Nino to become fully established. And also, nakikita po natin na nagkakaroon ng cooling in the tropical Pacific. However, even though lumalamig siya, is our SST are still in the El Nino level. So, nakataas pa rin po ang ating El Nino watch. Later po in Outlook, Miss Ana will provide you kung ano ba yung possible na mangyari for na outlook natin for ENSO. So, last January 10 po, nag-issue tayo ng monthly climate assessment and outlook. So, ito po siyang simplified and this is the original copy. So, what are the weather systems that affected the country from December to January of 2019? So, we experienced low pressure areas, the northeast monsoon, tail end of the cold front, thunderstorm, easterlies, and tropical cyclone. So, from December to January of 22, we had two tropical depressions, namely Usman, and recently is Tropical Depression Amang. So, balikan po natin yung 2018. So, for 2018, a total of 21 tropical cyclone entered the Philippine area of responsibility. So, 8 po dun sa 21 is sa category typhoon, then 2 is severe tropical storm, 5 ang tropical storm, and 6 po yung ating tropical depression. So, comparing it to our forecast, so mapapansin nating pumapasok naman po sa forecast natin yung for January 2018 up to May of 2018, so it's 110, except May pala na hindi po tayo pumasok. Pero nadagdagan po yung June natin. Ang forecast natin is 1 or 2. So, again po, a total of 21 tropical cyclones entered PAR for 2018. So, balikan po natin si Tropical Depression Usman, which is nagpaulan over areas of Bicol, Region 8 and Bicol. So, this is the track of Tropical Depression Usman with its associated rainfall. So, mapapansin po natin over Bicol area is sobrang dami ng ulan niya. So, actually po, this is the percent normal of Tropical Depression Usman, a total lang po nung 5 days from 26 to 30 of 2018. So, kung i-compare siya sa normal na ulan natin is mapapansin natin yung 5 days na yun is nakapag-cause na siya ng above normal to near normal to above normal rainfall condition over the Bicol area. So, ganun po kadami yung nagdagdag niya na ulan. So, this is the progression of the rainfall. This is from 26 to 30. And then, nakapag-cause siya ng maraming ulan during the days of December 28 and 29 over the areas of Bicol area. So, yung mga stasyon din po ng Pag-asa over the Bicol area such as Daet, Pili, Bucaf, and Basbate stations exceeded its normal rainfall for December during the passage of Tropical Depression Usman. So, okay. So, yung blue po is yung normal and yung orange is the total rainfall from 26 to 30. So, papapansin po natin yung Daet is mas mataas na yung rainfall niya kaysa dun sa normal. Pili, Bucaf, and of course, Masbate. So, nabit po nila yung normal rainfall nila for that past 5 years during the 5 days during the passage of Usman. So, these are some of the impacts of Usman. So, yung image po sa taas is na-landslidean po yung bahay nila. So, this was taken last December 29 sa Bulan, Sorsogon Province. And the picture at the bottom is in Bao, Camarines Sur. Taken last December 30 of 2018. So, makikita natin yung flooding over that area and landslide. So, impacts of Tropical Depression Usman. So, affected regions were Region 4A, 4B, Region 5, and Region 8 with casualties of 156 dead, with 26 missing and 105 injured. So, cost of damage is a total of 5.4 billion na po, both for agriculture and infrastructure. So, for our recent tropical depression Amang, this is the track of Tropical Depression Amang. So, mapapansin natin is nagsimula siya dito sa baba over Mindanao and naka-affect siya over areas of region, Caraga region and region 8. So, usual na impact of Tropical Depression Amang where there are lots of stranded passengers kasi naka-signal number 1 tayo. So, hindi naka-travel yung kanilang baka. At the same time is inulan po sila over those area. So, even though na meron tayong tropical depression, yung rainfall ni Amang ay hindi masyadong kalakihan compared doon kay Usman. So, except ang pinakamadaming na-contribute lang na ulan over the rainfall is over Cagayan, which is, ang normal niya is medyo mababa. And more than almost half ng 3 days niya na ulan is na beat niya. So, usually, ang ulan is na natanggap nila na marami is during the day of January 20th, kung saan ito din yung pinakamadaming ulan based doon sa mga karatig na region or na stations over that area. So, ngayon po is let's look into the actual rainfall natin for December and January. So, this is our, I know po lahat po kayo familiar na in our rainfall map. So, if it's red, it's less than 40%, way below normal. If yellow is between 41 to 80% of its normal, so it is below normal. So, near normal natin is green. It's between 81 to 120% of its normal. And above normal is greater than 120% of the normal rainfall. So, just to show you the 2018 actual rainfall. So, kung mapapansin natin, this is from January to June, then July to December. So, during the first half of 2018, most of the country experienced generally near normal to above normal, especially during January, February, and April. But then, kung titignan natin yung second half ng 2018 is rainfall condition is generally between below normal to near normal rainfall condition. Though except for December, which is color blue tayo because also of tropical depression among. Osman, sorry. So, this is the actual rainfall for December 2018. So, kung mapapansin natin is rainfall over this area, yung pinakamadami, which is reflected also in our percent normal. So, our generally near to above normal rainfall condition for December 2018. And for our rainfall for January 1 to 21 of 2019, so kung mapapansin natin is most parts of the country is experiencing below normal to way below normal, except, again, the areas dito which was also affected dun sa extension din ni Tropical Depression Osman. So this rainfall was contributed for the first week of January. Then after that, less na po yung rainfall natin. So for our drought and dry spell assessment for end of from September to December 31 of 2018. So this is our latest drought assessment. So meron po tayong 4 dry spell over Mindanao and 1 drought over Ilocos area. Ilocos Norte. And then for January 21, meron po tayong 2 dry condition. It's in Misamis Occidental and Tawi-Tawi. For dry spell, 6 again for Mindanao. And for drought is meron po tayong isa for Luzon. It's still in Ilocos Norte. And 2 drought, upgrade po yung last December natin na drought for Lanao del Norte and Lanao del Sur. So, for the temperature, so these are the actual 2018 actual mean temperature. So, kung mapapansin natin for the first half of 2018, so mapapansin natin majority is white, especially for March, April, May, and June. So, generally near average, while for January and February over that area is medyo mainit po yung ating January and February season last year. So, doon po naman sa second half natin is majority is white but nakikita natin mas marami yung redder shades, which means that second half of 2018 experience near average to slightly warmer, and there are also parts na warmer temperature for the year 2018, especially for December natin. So, tignan nga natin yung December natin na actual temperature. So, I think po naka-experience kayo ng medyo mainit na Pasko or, well, anyway. So, makikita po natin is majority po over Luzon area is mas mainit, warmer. So, warmer. So, most of Luzon area is warmer, and of course, dito po sa may Mindanao. And for Visayas area, which is over near normal. So, tingnan natin yung daytime temperature natin for the station. So, makapapansin natin, majority is above normal or nasa positive anomaly, which is mas mainit. While for minimum temperature or ang ating nighttime temperature, again, mas makikita natin na mas matataas yung anomaly natin, meaning mas mainit yung ating minimum temperature. So, that concludes our mean temperature, which is also mas mainit or warmer than normal temperature. So, for observed temperature natin, this is the records of our stations na minomonitor ng PAGASA. So, this is as of December 2018. So, for the month of December, Ang pinakamataas na temperature is in Cotabato City with 36.2. But hindi, and nabit niya yung record niya with na 35.5. So, mas mainit last year ng December 13, 2018. Then for Baguio naman, ang pinakamalamig na temperature for December is 12.0. And for Metro Manila, ang pinakamainit na temperature recorded was 34.9, which is nabit din niya yung station record niya na dati is 34.7. So, ibig sabihin na mas naka-experience tayo noong December 6 ng mas mainit na temperature for December. And ang lowest is Science Garden still with 24.4. So, overall, for historical record, ang may hawak pa din is, ng pinakamainit na temperature is Tuguegarao with 42.2 and lowest is Baguio with 6.3 degrees Celsius. For Metro Manila, ang pinakamainit for the whole historical record is still Port area with 38.6 and lowest is 14.5 for Port area. So, for the year of 2018, ang pinakamainit po nating na-monitor na stasyon is ISU with 40.0 degrees Celsius and ang pinakamalamig for 2018 is Baguio with 11.2 degrees Celsius. Then for Metro Manila naman, ang pinakamainit for 2018 is 37.2 with recorded in NAIA and pinakamalamig is Science Garden with 19.8. So, for December, for the month of December, is meron po tayong 5 station na nakabit ng kanilang recorded maximum temperature. Namely, Science Garden, pinakita kanina, Science Garden, Catbalogan, Cotabato, Hinatuan, and Zamboanga City. So, napakita lang po nito na medyo mainit nga yung ating December of 2018. So, for January 1 to 21, so, makapapansin natin is, yung maximum temperature natin is, majority pa din ng temperature is above, especially over eastern part hanggang region 8. But, yung northern part of Luzon natin is medyo below normal to near normal yung ating temperature. So, medyo malamig po yung over Luzon area natin compared over Visayas. And of course, meron din tayong over Mindanao na medyo malamig. Except for Cotabato area na mas mainit kaysa sa normal. For our maximum temperature. For our minimum temperature, majority of the stations experience mas mainit. So, for the mean temperature is majority experience mas mainit, though it's near normal to slightly warmer temperature for January 1 to 21 of 2019. So, for the records as of, for the month of January 2019, this record is as of January 21. So, ang pinakamainit na record natin is 35.4 still noong January 14 for San Jose Occidental, Mindoro. And for pinakamalamig natin is Baguio with 10.4 degrees Celsius noong January 21. So, though hindi pa rin nila na bibit yung station records na. For Metro Manila, ang pinakamainit is NAIA and Port area with 32.8 degrees Celsius. And ang pinakamalamig is Science Garden last January 16 with 19.0 degrees Celsius. Still, ito po yung historical record natin, yung pinakita kanina. And so, for the summary, last na po. So, for the summary natin, for the whole December to January, for December is meron tayong isang tropical cyclone and for January is meron tayong isa which is tropical depression among, so rainfall for December 2018 is generally near to above normal rainfall condition with patches of below normal rainfall condition over Ilocos Norte and Western Mindanao. For temperature natin for December 2018, observed surface air temperature were near to above average in most parts of the country. And for January 1 to 21 is way below normal in most parts of the country except for Central Luzon and Eastern Luzon with Cebu and Bohol with near to above normal rainfall conditions. So for temperature ng January 1 to 21 is near to slightly above average surface air temperature. So that's all. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Joranne. So, Joranne, nung last December, tinanong ko kung SMP ka ba? Samahan ng malalamig ang Pasko. So, hindi na, no? Napatunayan mo. Mainit ang Pasko. Sorry. So, para sa mga single, that's good news. Mainit ang Pasko natin. Anyway, for this month naman, na-enjoy pa rin natin yung malamig na temperature, di ba? At i-enjoy natin since hanggang mga second week siguro ng February. And dahil po tayo ay nasa initial month ng ating 2019 at marami pong mga feng shui experts na nagsasabi ng mga ganitong forecast nila. Tayo po, meron po tayong mga expert din dito, syempre, ang ating mga climatologists. And we have the fearless forecast for the months of February, March, April, May, June, July. So ano po ba? Ito po ba ay prosperous? Meron po ba tayong drier condition, weather condition? Ilan po ba yung ina-expect nating bagyo? Without further ado, I would like to call on Miss Annalisa Solis to give the climate outlook for February to July 2019 with the partnership from Miss Rusi Abastillas. Impromptu, bigla-bigla. Okay?
Maraming salamat, Bel. So, napakaganda nung bedroom box. So, later po si Miss Lucy. So, good morning po sa ating lahat. So, outlook for Feb to July. Lucy, hindi ko talaga kaya. Okay. So updates and outlook. Outlook for Feb to July in terms of rainfall, temperature, dry day, TC frequency, extremes, and then yung mga dry spell drought potential areas. And then summary. So, yung mga few slides, aanihin po natin. So, nakita po natin during the climate review presented by Joranne recently, so nagkaroon po ng recent SST cooling. So, medyo lumamig po yung temperatura ng ibabaw ng dagat natin. Kaya, masusustain ba nito or iinit pa ba sa susunod na panahon or mga months? So, yun po yung titingnan natin. So, base po sa mga international prediction centers, so still El Nino Watch, ang CPC, International Research Institute ng US, expected to continue through Northern Hemisphere spring. Makikita po natin medyo mas bumababa yung chance of having El Nino for the first quarter of 2019. Still at El Nino Watch. Ang BOM po, previously, nasa El Nino alert siya. Ibig sabihin, more than 70% of having El Nino yung chances niya for the first quarter 2019. Pero sila, nagbaba na rin po ng El Nino Watch. Meaning, around 50% na lang po yung nakikita nilang chances of having El Nino at least first quarter of 2019. Bagamat bumaba yung chances ng pagkakaroon ng El Nino for first quarter 2019, nakikita rin nila na may increased likelihood that El Nino will develop later in 2019. So still there are chances na pagkakaroon ng El Nino baka later 2019. So ang aabangan natin yung next last quarter po ng 2019. So baka doon siya mag-full blown. Yun po yung tinitingnan or nakikita ng ibang international prediction centers. Ang Japan, although sinabi nila El Nino conditions in terms of SST warming at tinitingnan nila yung Nino 3 region, Nino West, so around 80% to continue until March, April, May, 2019 yun. And then yung sa Korea po, prevailing ENSO pace is expected to be positive. Hindi sila nagsasabi whether El Nino or not, kundi SST warming, warm pace or cold pace El Nino. So, quarterly po nag-a-update ang WMO based in Geneva, Switzerland. So, still estimated to be about 75 to 80% for DJF. And then, base po dun sa nakalap nating mga information from international prediction centers, so PAGASA, ito yung kanyang general statement. Despite the recent cooling of SSTs in the tropical Pacific, SSTs are still at El Nino levels. So yung mga atmospheric indicators natin still does not show response to warming SST temperature for El Nino to become fully established. Kasi kung hindi fully established o mawawala ng coupling at hindi siya masusustain, so hindi natin makikita kung ano yung magiging significant impact nito at a global scale, lalong-lalo na po particularly sa ating bansa in terms of drier than normal condition or not. So ENSO alert system status is still at El Nino watch. So makikita po natin average sea surface temperature anomalies during the past 4 weeks. So, 16 December to 12 January. So, nakikita po natin na SST warming continues pero nagkaroon po siya ng recent warming during that. Because, ibig sabihin po, kung i-compare natin yung SST anomaly during the past month of November, December, ay mas lumamig po or nagkaroon ng cooling during the past December, January 4 weeks. So, nagkaroon siya ng cooling. So, compared with the SST anomaly during the previous month, mas warmer yung SST anomalies during the past month, November, December. Then, yung later part ng December, January, yun po yung ipinapakita nito. So, lalong-lalo na po dito sa may part po ng Far West Pacific at dito po sa may southern part of Eastern Pacific dito. So, yun po yung nakita nating recent warming. In terms of OLR na anomaly, so makikita natin whether magkakaroon ng convective activity or not, makakapagpaulan o hindi. Usually po, yung OLR natin, yung mga blue shades niya na nakikita natin during a typical El Nino event, dapat nandun siya concentrated sa may dateline, sa Central and Eastern Equatorial Pacific. Ano po yung nakikita nating OLR anomaly na enhanced convection dito lang po sa Far East Pacific at dito po just west of the dateline. So dapat yung OLR anomalies na blue shadings na yon dito natin nakikita sa may eastern dateline, hindi dito sa west dateline Pacific. So medyo yung convective activity nandito pa, kaya medyo may mga pag-uulan tayo. And this is due to the recent warming of SST that might have implication dun sa pagdaan po ng mga tinatawag nating intraseasonal variability. So ibig sabihin po, yung short-term variability such as yung MJO, so yun po yung nagkaroon ng dominant signal during that particular season. Kaya nagkaroon po ng recent warming ng SST natin at nagkaroon tayo ng maraming pag-uulan kagaya po ng ulan na binigay ni T.D. Usman. So yung pong dominant role ng ating interseasonal variability, yun po ang nag-play during that particular period. Hindi si ENSO, hindi si El Nino. Yeah. So cloudiness near dateline has fluctuated around average since late October. So it would be well above average during El Nino. Yun nga po yung sabi natin. So yung cloudiness near the dateline, so usually it increases during El Nino dito sa may part, sa may central, just east of the dateline. So coupling is yet to be established, so a process that would sustain an El Nino event. So meaning, wala pa tayong sustained El Nino event. So, kanina pinakita natin yung 30-day moving SOI. So, positive SOI pa rin siya. So, wala pa po tayong nakikitang clear coupling or established ano ba yun? Ocean atmosphere coupling na nakikita natin. Wala pa po siya. Yun. Pero kung titingnan natin, in terms of SST, probabilistic forecast, is still higher chances of having El Nino. So nakikita nga po natin, in terms of ENSO probabilistic forecast, yung having El Nino at SST El Nino level, yung ipinapakita nitong probabilistic forecast nito. So it does not show any fully established El Nino in terms of atmospheric indicator. SST indicator lang po ang ipinapakita natin dito. So still higher chances of having El Nino, December, January, February, at makikita po natin still higher chances of having El Nino until May, June, July in terms of SST. So meaning, nakikita pa rin natin na continuous warming ng SST anomaly, but we need to fully establish yung coupling between the ocean, SST warming, and the atmospheric circulation para ma-fully establish whether still El Nino could play a dominant role in our climate for the next several months. Nakikita po natin. Dito, nakita po natin December up to September, October, November 2019 season. So majority of international climate models indicate that SSTs in the tropical Pacific are likely to persist above El Nino threshold, meaning El Nino remains a possibility in 2019. So kung hindi man ngayon ang panahon ni El Nino for first quarter 2019, posibleng mag-full blown siya sa last quarter 2019 at posibleng magtuloy-tuloy siya for first quarter 2020. So yung nakita po natin similar condition noong 2014 na kung saan nagpalabas po ng El Nino Watch ang PAGASA. Pero 2015-2016 nagkaroon tayo ng full-blown strong El Nino event. So parang yun yung nakikita natin na naman po na scenario na continuous warming, hindi pursue yung El Nino for first quarter pero baka sa next quarter naman po. But still, in terms of probability, nakikita po natin still higher chances of El Nino during the months of July, August, September, October season than having ENSO neutral condition. Nakikita natin mga line graphs po dyan. Ayun. So, makikita po natin, although yung spread ng mga model predictions for SSTs until September, October 2019 ranges from around minus 0.2 degrees centigrade to 1.5, still majority of the models considered or forecasted El Nino, above El Nino threshold po. Kaya nakita natin na may continuous warming, posible siyang ma-fully established at the end of 2019. So, maghintay na naman po, continuous monitoring na naman po tayo. But, despite that, SST at El Nino levels, atmospheric indicators such as cloudiness and so on do not show evidence for El Nino to become fully established, but weak El Nino or not, impacts may occur in some areas of the country. Kaya nagpakita po kami ng mga dry spell areas, na yung mga areas na naka-experience po ng dry spell and drought condition during the past month. So meron siyang counting impact dito po sa may parts po ng Mindanao, although drought sa Ilocos Norte, pero normally dry naman po siya sa Ilocos Norte. So, typically favorable sa kanilang dry season crop. Dahil kung nagtanim sila ng tabako, ay mas maganda dahil wala silang tubig, dry na dry. So, ganun po. Outlook for Feb to July. So, I may turn you over to Ms. Rosie.
Okay. Okay, so to continue, Ms. Anna had already updated you with the ENSO updates. So these are the forecasts for what would be might be impact of those conditions. So for the weather systems that may affect the country for during the period February to July. So sa ngayon, still we are affected by northeast monsoon, tail end of cold front, then yung mga localized thunderstorms, easterlies, intertropical convergence zone, na at this time of the year, nasa south of the country, pero pagdating na ng April, May, tataas na siya towards the north area. And then the reach of high pressure area and tropical cyclones. And the transition from the northeast to southwest monsoon is expected around May or June. And these are the definition of terms. So same lang din po yung ating rainfall maps. Kung ano yung pinakita kanina sa review, same din yung ating mapa for our forecast. Na ang ginamit lang natin dito is forecast rainfall. Unlike the one that for the review, it's the actual or observed rainfall. So for the forecast for the months of February, normally ang February rainfall is concentrated over the eastern section of the country for the normal. So, sa western section, including Metro Manila, talagang normally na medyo dry tayo, less than 50 millimeters in a month. And then, the forecast, makikita natin yun na yung rainfall is concentrated then over the eastern sections. But in terms of the percent of normal, dito sa bandang Mindanao, mas maraming ulan ang ating forecasted. So, in terms of percent of normal, the western sections of Luzon, as well as Visayas, medyo below to way below normal yung ating rainfall. But in Mindanao and some portions also of central Visayas and eastern, is expected to have near normal rainfall condition. And in terms of provinces to be affected by those near normal and below normal, we have 40 for below normal, 13 for way below normal, and 30 provinces will likely have a near normal rainfall condition. And for March, ganun pa rin, dry season pa rin tayo, kaya nasa western section is expected to have less or less than 50 millimeters of rainfall. Ang ating mga pag-uulan is concentrated dito sa eastern section in Visayas and eastern Mindanao area. As well, ang forecast natin for that for the month for March, sa Mindanao we have around 100 to 200 millimeters of rainfall expected, especially over the eastern sections of Mindanao. And for in terms of percent of normal, still the Luzon and some parts of Visayas is expected to have way below to below normal. But in portions of Bicol region and also eastern Visayas, eastern and central Visayas is expected to have near normal rainfall condition. And but in Mindanao, mostly we have near normal to above normal in southern Mindanao, Davao region. This blue color, this one. So we have 6 provinces expected to have above normal, concentrated in Mindanao, 43 for near normal and 26 below normal, and 8 way below normal, especially in those areas in Luzon. And for April, still, we expect drier conditions for the normal. Medyo nag-spread na yung ating rainfall, about may mga 51 to 100 millimeters of rainfall na siya over western sections of the country, of Luzon and also of Visayas. Ito yung forecast natin sa gitna, that just showing that the rainfall condition for April is still expected to have way below to below normal, especially over Luzon and Visayas area. But in Mindanao, we expect near normal to above normal in eastern sections. And for May, this is the forecast rainfall. So sa May, nakikita natin na ang ating rainfall is more or less parang ano na siya, ang rainfall, in our normal rainfall, about 51 to 200 millimeters in Luzon, all over the country. And the forecast rainfall over Luzon, medyo mas mababa dun sa normal natin. So, and also in Visayas area, less than 100 millimeters. So in terms of percent of normal, the northern Luzon and Mindanao area is expected to receive near normal rainfall. But the western sections and the southern Luzon and most of Visayas is expected to still receive below normal rainfall, about 44 provinces. And for June, this is the forecast. So the normal rainfall for June is already expected to be concentrated over the western sections of, yan nga po, nakita ko po, over, papalitan na lang po natin. But the normal for June, the rainfall is already concentrated in the western sections of the country kasi ano na siya, influenced by southwest monsoon or habagat. And the forecast rainfall is about more than 200 to 300 millimeters in most areas of the country. So in terms of percent of normal, we expect near normal rainfall conditions in most areas of the country except for areas of northern Luzon and western Luzon. And then for July, so ito, makikita natin na ang July, the rainfall is already concentrated about more than 500 millimeters in a month, concentrated over the western sections of Luzon. And our forecast for July, halos maraming ulan na talaga siya. And in terms of, and over Visayas, Bicol region, the forecast is less kaysa doon sa ating normal. So in terms of percent of normal, the rainfall condition is expected to be near normal in most parts of Luzon, some parts of Visayas, and some parts of central and western Mindanao. But the eastern sections of the country is expected to receive less than normal or below normal. So these are the percent of normal for those rainfall conditions from February to July. So makikita natin na for the February, March, and April, talagang we expect drier conditions until May. And then June and July, we expect near normal rainfall in most parts of the country. So in terms of probabilistic forecast, this tells us how certain ba tayo doon sa ating forecast. So these are the probabilistic forecast for the rainfall that we forecasted a while ago. So for February, March, and April, we expect, pinapakita dito na we expect about 40 to 45% probability na magkaroon tayo ng near normal in those areas. But for May, June, and July, we expect below normal in most especially this is the western section. So napakababa po ng ating certainty. Napaka-uncertain pa rin tayo. Pag pinapakita natin yung kulay na lighter, that means mataas yung ating uncertainty. Pag darker, mas mataas yung certainty natin. Confidence, hindi ko maanig. So in July, we expect the below normal rainfall over the eastern sections, which also, given the probabilistic forecast for this month, nakikita natin na mas mataas yung ating probability to receive below normal rainfall na pinapakita natin probabilistic forecast. And these are per province, these are the matrix or kung ano ba yung pinapakita ng mapa in terms of percent of normal. So, same category na ginawa natin dun sa ating rainfall maps. So, makikita natin na sa February, March, and April, sa Luzon talagang we could see maraming red and yellow, meaning below and way below normal rainfall is expected from February to April, and in some areas hanggang May. And these are in terms of millimeters per province. And per region, we also give a forecast. And for our watershed, so from Angat up to San Roque watershed, for Angat watershed, we expect February, March, and April to have less rainfall or way below and below normal. But for May, June, and July, we expect near normal. And also in some dams of the country. And for the rain stations over selected dams, also for February, March, and April, we expect way below and below normal rainfall. But for May, June, and July, we expect near normal in most dams in Luzon. And for the river basins also, for February, March, and April, we expect over Luzon that we expect below to way below normal. But in Mindanao river basins, we expect for February and March to have near normal to above normal. But for April, some river basins are expected to have below normal. And also for May to July, in some parts, in some areas, in some river basins in Luzon, we still expect below normal rainfall, but in Mindanao, mostly near normal is expected over these river basins. And pinakita kanina ni Jer yung assessment for the actual or observed rainfall for what are the areas affected by dry condition, dry spell, or drought. And from this criteria, we have identified the potential areas that might be affected by those rainfall deficits, and what are the areas potential for drought, dry spell, dry condition, and some areas not affected. So based sa rainfall forecast natin and from the assessment take up to January 21, we have come up with this map and identified the areas that might be affected or potential. So ito po yung sinasabi natin na El Nino or not, baka ito yung mga areas still to be affected. So for dry condition, wala tayong areas affected. But for dry spell, we identified 17 provinces or 20% of the country to be affected by dry spell using that criteria. So 12 provinces in Luzon, 3 provinces in Visayas, and 2 in Mindanao. And for drought areas, yung kulay dark red, about 15 provinces or 18% of the country. So those areas are over Luzon. So from Abra down to Palawan. But during this month kasi, talaga namang normally, mas mababa yung ulan nito sa mga areas na to. Those areas, mostly climate type 1. And for the temperature forecast, so mostly from Feb to July, makikita natin na kulay puti. So near average mostly, and some areas na above average for the succeeding months, near to slightly warmer. And for the extreme temperature forecast, so since February, March, medyo malamig pa tayo, pero pagdating ng April, May, March, mga later part of March, pag nawala na yung ating amihan, medyo tataas na yung ating temperatura. So these are the extremes that might be experienced in a day. Hindi siya buong buwan, but in one instantaneous day lang. So we expect in northern Luzon, the temperature for maximum for Feb is about as high as 35, and for as low as 27. And for Metro Manila, we expect temperature to become higher, and until April, ang pinakamainit is April and May, na may it could come up with reach 37.7 degrees. Ito po yung pinaka-maximum. And in northern Luzon, we expect more than 40 degrees Celsius in May. And for sa minimum temperature or nighttime temperature, still we expect colder temperatures up to February. Nasa Baguio, we expect as low as 9.6 up to 12 degrees Celsius. And March, medyo malamig pa rin as we have remembered, yung kanina, pinakita natin na last year, ang pinakamalamig na temperatura na nangyari is in March. That's also in Baguio and also in Metro Manila. So, this is for the extreme. And for the dry day forecast. This is our new product. Hindi siya new kasi dati we already gave the dry day forecast per province. But now, we have come up with a number of dry days anomaly. So, how many days? We have the normal number of dry days, and anomaly, how many days it would be below or above that normal dry days. So this the map on the left shows the normal number of dry days from 1981 to 2010, wherein the western sections, yung mga kulay brown, ibig sabihin about 26 to 31 days in a month na magkakaroon ng dry day. Ang dry day, hindi siya ibig sabihin na talagang walang ulan. Less than 1 millimeter, kung umulan man siya basta less than 1 millimeter, it's still considered a dry day. So, sa western sections, mas maraming dry days, but the eastern section shows that, especially in Hinatuan, wherein 0 to 5 days lang yung dry, ibig sabihin, most of the time may ulan sila for February, since northeast monsoon pa tayo. So, in terms of anomaly, pag nakikita natin yung kulay puti, ibig sabihin, Same lang kung ano yung forecast, yung ating normal doon sa ating forecast na dry day. But pag nakita natin yung kulay orange, ibig sabihin, mas marami pa siyang dry days. For example, if we have 14, let's take an example. Halimbawa sa western section, in yung Dagupan. So the number of dry days is about 26 to 31 days. So we expect more dry days pa. Kasi pag kulay orange, ibig sabihin, mas marami pa siyang dry days. So in most parts of the country, mas marami expect natin na dry days, especially in Visayas and South and Luzon area. And for March, still we expect maraming dry days, but in the eastern section, yun ang mas kakonti yung dry days. Pag kulay green to blue, meaning mas kakonti yung dry days. And in terms of anomaly, still Luzon is expected to be near average lang siya. And yung mga areas sa Southern and Visayas, yun ang mas marami pang in-expect na dry days. And in base kasi sa forecast din natin, ang ating sa Mindanao halos near normal siya mostly. So isa lang yung area dyan na mas maraming dry days. Same is true for May. So expected natin na for May, medyo kumukonti na yung ating dry days based dun sa ating normal na yung mga light orange, ibig sabihin 21 to 25 days na lang yung dry. Pero yung forecast natin is mas marami pa, more than 4 days kaysa doon sa ating expected na number of dry days. So mas drier yung ating in-expect pagdating ng May. And for June, we expect mas marami na namang wet. Kasi pag kulay blue, ibig sabihin, mas kokonti yung dry days natin doon. Parang nakakalito. Nabawasan yung ating dry days, kaya kulay blue and green. So, mas marami na tayong wet days. Kasi di ba dry day forecast to? So, mas marami ng wet days, ibig sabihin nun, pag kulay green, from light green to blue, ibig sabihin, mas nababawasan yung ating dry days na nagiging wet days na siya. So, nag-iiba na yung kulay ng ating normal compared to previous months na marami siyang brown. Ito, pagdating na ng May and June, makikita na natin na marami na siyang kulay green. Ibig sabihin, wet na tayo ng panahon na yon. So, mas nabawasan yung ating dry days. Ibig sabihin na naman kulay blue na to. And for July also, we expect less dry days kasi 11 to 15 days yung ating dry dyan. Ibig sabihin, half of the month is also expected na magkakaroon tayo ng ulan. So, dito sa July, we expect in most areas, especially in Luzon, na mababawasan yung madadagdagan yung ating dry days. So these are in terms of the number. Yung pinlat natin. Ang pagplat natin per station, hindi siya interpolated. That is from the station data. So ito po yung stations na kinuhanan natin doon ng ating sa mapa. Okay, malapit na. So for the forecast tropical cyclone, in terms of number, so from Feb to July, we have slim chance of having tropical cyclone, especially in February because of the influence of the northeast monsoon. Kung makikita natin dyan yung track, meron na nabubuo, pero usually nagiging LPA siya because of the influence ng tail end of cold front and also northeast monsoon. So sa March, we expect 0 or 1 until April, 0 or 1. For May, we have 1 or 2 expected. And for July, we have 2 or 3. So for the average, we have 4 to 7 tropical cyclones expected from February to July. And in terms of track, pagdating na ng May, February, March, nasa until April, kung may bagyo tayo, usually ang track is over northern Mindanao, Visayas area, or papaakyat na siya sa Luzon. And pagdating na ng June, South Luzon to Central Luzon area, July and August, papunta na dun sa Northern Luzon area. And for the frequency, this is the average tropical cyclone frequency from 1948 to 2018. Na yung makikita na, sa graph makikita natin na yung talagang tropical cyclone season is still July, August, September hanggang October. And so for summary, yun kanina sinabi na natin sa ating El Nino Watch, that despite the sea surface temperatures still at El Nino levels, the indicators for the atmosphere, cloudiness, trade winds, and also the Southern Oscillation Index do not show evidence for El Nino to become fully established. And so, yun nga, El Nino or not, impacts may occur in some parts of the country, and still our ENSO status still at El Nino Watch. And for the rainfall forecast for the whole country, in-explain ko naman kanina, so pwede na rin basahin. And then, for our temperature, generally near to slightly warmer than average temperature is forecasted, and slightly warmer, especially during the night, or nighttime temperatures. And surges of cold temperatures will still be likely until February. And 4 to 7 tropical cyclones may develop or enter the Philippine area of responsibility during the forecast period. And based from historical perspective, our tropical cyclone frequency for 2019 will be below average if the recent conditions will prevail. Kasi pag may El Nino tayo, usually, yung ating ang tropical cyclones less in number. And potential meteorological dry spell to drought conditions likely in most areas of Western Luzon and some areas in Visayas and Mindanao in the coming months, dun sa pinakita naming dry spell and drought-affected areas. And our next forum will be on Feb 20. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Rusi. So there you have it, our fearless forecast for February, March, April, May, June, July. So yung mga questions nyo po, mamaya po, because we have a very special lecture po. It will be delivered by the Chief of the Impact Assessment and Application Section, Ms. Telma A. Cinco. Palakpakan po natin. While setting up po, we have our FB Live, so we encourage you to share it and view it po. Okay, Ms. Telma Cinco, palakpakan po ulit natin.
Magandang umaga. So they asked me to talk on climate change. So I put there the understanding the science of climate change, changing climate. So I'll be briefly talking on the basic understanding of climate change, although gas-gas na sa inyo, but a brief background, just some definition. The current trends, both global and at local Philippines, and climate projections based from CIMIP 3, that is SRES, what you call SRES, and the CIMIP 5, which is called the RCP, or Representative Concentration Pathway. So, bilisan ko lang kasi merienda lang ang bibigay. So, and the use of CLIRAM, or what we call the Climate Risk Matrix. Unfortunately, ang aming policy brief ay hindi nakarating, but the next climate forum, you're going to receive the hard copy of our latest policy brief. So, dapat ngayon dumating. So again, laging tinatanong natin ano yung difference in weather and climate, ay alam nyo yan. But then, for you to understand climate change, you have to understand the difference of weather and climate. So, ang weather is what you get, as I said, and climate is what you expect. Or the main difference is in terms of time. So for the next 24 hours and yung dinidiscuss kanina, for the next month or for the next 6 months. So normally, we have two weather systems that affects us. The monsoon, the northeast, the southwest, and the northeast monsoon system. So alam nyo na yan. And Of course, we don't have the 4 seasons, but we describe our climate in terms of rainfall, and we describe our climate types in the Philippines based from Corona, or we have 4 climate types. Then, understanding the difference, what is climate variability and what is climate change. So ating tinitingnan, climate variability is referring to the short fluctuation of the climate. So kung hindi nagbabago ang klima, ang average mo ay diretso. But then, nagbabago siya, nagpa-fluctuate. So, if you look at the saan ba? Okay. So, if you look at the red line, it represents a natural forcing, ibig sabihin without the effect of greenhouse gases. So, if the climate change refers to both natural and the effect of the result of human activity. So the black line is the observed. So the models, when trying to put the natural as well as the human-induced, you see that the observed and the model results agree, no? So the one there. So the climate change refers to both natural and human-induced. Next. So natural variability, example yung El Nino. So that's a part of natural variability. Or what we call the ENSO, or El Nino Southern Oscillation. So alam nyo na yon. So hindi ko na so I go through. Next. So that is when you have your neutral, El Nino, and La Nina. Where are your lows and highs? No? Saan ang dapat nasa yung easterlismo and El Nino, weaker ang easterlismo, and nasa central equatorial ang paulan. No? Next is, alam nyo din yan. So some impacts of El Nino in the Philippines we know is nakakaroon tayo ng drought or scarcity in terms of water resource. Next, in terms of impacts of La Nina is dun tayo nagkakaroon ng mga excess rainfall or landslides or floodings. So what is the difference with global warming and climate change? Anong pagkakaiba ng global warming and climate change? Anyone? So global warming is the increase of the Earth's average temperature due to the buildup of greenhouse gases. So anong climate change? Global warming ba? Climate change? Huh? Who says yes? Who says either? So, global climate change is a broader term that refers to the changes in climate, including the changes in temperature. No? So, global warming is only one part of the whole, what we call climate change. Pero, pag tinitingnan natin na climate change per se is yung pagtaas ng temperatura. So, ang ating titingnan kung tumataas ba yung temperatura. So, if the global temperature is rising, then climate change is happening. Right? Next. So, and then, anong pagkakaiba ng kanina diniscuss with climate forecast against climate projections? What is the difference? So, climate change, weather forecast is the state of the atmosphere for a particular location over a short period of time. So, whether forecast siya or climate forecast. But basically, the difference, it is highly dependent on the initial state of the atmosphere or the upper ocean. No? So, ang forecast na binibigay kanina ni Ana is may initial condition siya. No? So, at the time the forecast is given, it is correct. Right? So, pag nagpo-forecast tayo ngayon, granting na yung ganun pa rin ang condition because the initial condition is current, then tama siya. But we know that we are dealing with uncertain world, di ba? So, how about climate projection? Is climate projection a forecast? Again, yes or no? Who says yes? Who says no? Wala. Ano ba yan? Para ayaw lang sumagot. Ha? Who says no? Okay, marami nagsasabing no. Let's see. So, it's a likelihood of something to happen in climate several decades or centuries in the future. So, the likelihood of something to happen. So, hindi siya forecast. Pwedeng mangyari or pwedeng hindi mangyari. But basically, it's based from the assumptions or conditional climate expectation based on scenario. So, nagsi-scenario ka when we say climate projection. So, when you do scenario building, it may or may not happen. Okay? So, the scenario that we're looking here is the increase of greenhouse gases. Next. So, now we could also see the difference of greenhouse effect and enhanced greenhouse effect. So, natural yung greenhouse effect. The incoming solar radiation and the outgoing solar radiation from the Earth. So, yung greenhouse gases, ina-absorb ang heat or it regulates the temperature near the Earth's surface. But if you increase the greenhouse gases, the concentration of the greenhouse gases, then the trapping heat of the near the Earth's surface is mas mataas. So, kaya tayo umiinit. No? So, that is what we call na due to human induced na climate change. Yung pagtaas ng temperatura dahil sa pagtaas ng mga concentration ng mga greenhouse gases. Next. So, ito yung mga human activities that produce greenhouse gases, like energy production and so on. No? So, our transport. So, next is, yes. Yeah. These are the different weather and climate information provided by PAGASA for different applications. So, if you're doing some climate risk assessment, you want to know what happened in the past. We have our data or historical data wherein you have their normals, all the trends. So, si Bebot nangangalaga ng aming past data. So, when we want to know in terms of operational, the weather and climate is pwede mong malaman yung the past, like kanina diniscuss, it's for past few months or past few weeks, and for the next week or for the next few days. No, or what we call, we needed during emergency preparedness. And climate variability, paano mo ma-address, paano mo malaman yung gagawin mo for the next 3 months or what we call the tactical decision or planning, you need to use our climate forecast or our climate outlook. So for medium-term operation planning or risk assessment management. But more than a year, PAGASA can no longer forecast. No? We don't have, wala na yung initial condition mo na pwedeng skillful pa yung forecast mo. So beyond a year, we can no longer forecast, but we want to plan ahead in the future. So we need climate projections. Kaya tayo nagsi-scenario. That comes wherein you do strategic planning, retrofitting, and so on. So PAGASA provides all this kind of information. Next. So what is the observed global mean temperature? Next. Paki-play. So if you look at from 1880 to 2016, ayaw. So hindi siya. But if you see that the blue line, the blue color is cooler, and at the end of 2016, magiging kulay-pula yung ating Earth. Unfortunately, ayaw niya mag-run dyan kasi iba yung laptop kanina. Next is we try to look at the latest from WMO as of November 2018. They say that 2018 is among the top 4 warmest years on record. So as of January to October, 2018 is about 0.98 or almost 1 degree differ from the pre-industrial years. But 2016 is the record holder. So 1.2 difference from the pre-industrial years. So we see that for the last 4 years, the temperature is warmer than the pre-industrial years. So that is, ang tinitingnan natin, sabi nga, nagbabago talaga ang klima noon pa, may ice age. But what is relevant, ang ating tinitingnan na pagbabago is the continuous rising trend of the temperature. So what is alarming? What we want to address is to see the effect of this increasing trend in terms of temperature. Okay? Next. So what are the observed climate trends in the Philippines? So for the Philippines, for the past 65 years, the mean temperature has risen for about 0.68 degrees. No? So if you look at the maximum and the minimum temperature is almost 1 degree or 0.99 differ from the normal. So ang mas mainit yung ating mga gabi, no? So nighttime temperature, mainit ang mga gabi. So it also consistent yung December lang. So that's our historical trends. And how about rainfall? Next. How about rainfall? If you look at rainfall, it differs from one place to another. So if you look at rainfall, some areas are nagre-reduce. The brown is reduction in terms of annual. The blue is increase. So you see the Visayas area or northern part of Mindanao, they have increasing trend in terms of annual rainfall. But towards the Cagayan area, medyo nagdi-decrease yung kanilang ulan, no? From 1951 to 2010. Next. So for, in terms of seasonal, kasi usually tinitingnan natin ang pagpaplano natin in terms of season, makita natin yung DCF or Northeast Monsoon ay doon pala nangyayari yung pagtaas ng ulan sa mga Visayas and Mindanao. No? So yung Northeast Monsoon, no, mas maano yung Northeast Monsoon. And March, April, May, almost all throughout the country, there's increasing trend, but yun yung summer natin, so wala naman ganong epekto masyado, although siguro mas maraming thunderstorm during this period. But during July, August, some areas may reduce rainfall, and September, October, November. Next. But what is, hindi mo masyadong makita yung effect, pero in terms of looking at hot days, increasing trend, and cold days, decreasing trend. And in terms of rainfall intensity, almost all stations, all of the country, you have increasing intensity, meaning mas malalakas yung mga ulan, at they are becoming more frequent. Next. So in terms of tropical cyclone, yan kasi kalimitan tinatanong, nagbabago ba ang mga bagyo? If in terms of number, you see there's no significant trend. It's almost, we have on the average 19 to 20 tropical cyclone, but you see an interannual variability. That's a total number. But if you look at we try to look closely on the very strong typhoon. Next. Ay, hindi siya napasama. But then, when we look closely at but it's in the policy brief. If we look at the very strong typhoon, the recent year, there is a slight increase in number of very intense tropical cyclone. Next. So, how do we do the climate projections? How do we project? How our projections are made? Next. So, basically, sabi nga kanina, ang ginagamit natin ay scenario. So, the scenario that we use here is, there are two. Symmetry is what we call the SRES or Special Report and Emission Scenario, or RCP. So, ini-input to sa global climate model, then it's resolved by modeling. Then, yun ang tinatawag natin ng global climate models. But when they're doing the global climate models, since they a lot computer intensive siya, so ang resolution is 100-kilometer resolution. So if you want to do impact at the ground for the Philippines, you cannot use the data because 3 boxes lang siya. Yung 100 by 100. So what PAGASA does is we downscale at 25-kilometer resolution to resolve yung the effect of topography. So what we have done for PAGASA and with other countries is to do downscale at currently what is available is at 25-kilometer resolution. Next. So ano yung pagkaiba ng SRES at saka yung RCPs? Yung SRES, ang assumptions ay basically based from what is the population, what will be economic development, and so on. It's basically, ang scenario mo is socio-economic driven, no? But in the RCPs, it describes a wide range of potential feature on main drivers of the climate, or yung driver mo is the greenhouse gases. So it's based from the actual RCP is watts per meter squared, or the actual concentration of the greenhouse gases. What if you have 2.6 watts per meter squared? So it's already the concentration of the greenhouse gases and assumptions mo. Hindi na based from your socio-economic. Next. So to see that is, ano yung ba yung radiative forcing na tinatawag? May incoming ka, may outgoing, so yung balance there is what we call the radiative forcing, or the capacity of the gas as a forcing agent to affect the energy balance. So yung net radiating forcing is yun yung nagiging assumptions natin. What if ganito yung net radiating forcing, anong response ng climate? Next. So from 750 to 2011, this is the net radiating forcing already. So yung red is the positive, at yung blue is yung hindi naman lahat ay positive, no? So there's also cooling effect, no? So the positive and the negative, itong yung kulay orange, that is the level of the radiative forcing as of 2011, no? So we are already about on the range of 1 to 3 point something, but on the average 2.3 or 2.4, no? Yung watts per meter squared, kung yung concentration niya. Next. Now here is the difference. What if we look at CO2 as the assumption? Yung SRES A1B, narinig nyo yan, yung una namin MDGF report, we use the SRES or the A1B. Now we're using the RCP. What PAGASA downscale is the 4.5. Yung 4.5. Yan, yung linyang green. And what we have in the previous report is A1B, yung kulay red at the middle. Yan, A1B. Then, currently what we have is the 8.5. So now we have a range of possible future. Why do we need to have a range of possible future? Hindi natin alam kung ano mangyayari in the future, but we have to plan for a range of possible future. What if ito mangyari sa klima mo? So now we have already an information of a range of possible future. So what will that impact to the different sectors, no? So kung titingnan natin in terms of temperature, naka-hide ba? Next slide. Naka-hide siguro. So the goal of, can you go back to that? The goal of working with scenario, as I said, is not to predict the future, but to better understand uncertainties and alternative futures, in order to consider how robust different decisions or options may be in a very wide range of possible futures. So ano yung pwede mo maging desisyon kapag ganito ang mangyayari, no? So it's for us to work on those uncertainties of the future. Next is hinighlight ko yung kulay blue there. These are the RCPs. So ano yung equivalent ng 1.5? So this is the different change in temperature from the SRES as well as CME5. So hinighlight ko yung 1.5 because what we want, in the IPCC, the 1.5 report, is to achieve that or not to go beyond the 1.5. So if we want to not to go beyond the 1.5, is dapat, ano yung scenario ka? No, yung pinaka-blue dyan is 2.6. So it is within the range of higher level ng 2.6, kasi ano yan, maraming models din. So envelope. So within, yung kulay light blue is 4.5. No? So, within that range of ng 4.5, no? Or upper level ng 2.6. Okay? So, yun yung gusto natin i-achieve. But then, to achieve that, maraming pagbabago sa ating pamumuhay. Our lifestyle must change para ma-reduce mo yung concentration ng mga greenhouse gases mo to achieve that 1.5. So you look at around RCP 4.5 assumptions. Next. So this is the projection for the Philippines under our old report. On the average, kasi isa lang yung model na ginamit namin. So it's also 1.6 at mid-century. We call it mid-century, 2036 to 2065. Paano namin nakukuha yan? May baseline tayo. So yung baseline mo is 71 to 2000. So i-minus mo yung future average ng 2036 to 2065 minus the 1971 to 2000. So yun yung pagkuha ng change in the future. So 1.6, next. So meron din kami report from the Southeast Asia wherein we have more models but still A1B. So now instead of just 1.6, it's ranging from 1.4 to 2 degrees change at mid-century. And now, next, we have the 4.5, the RCP 4.5, na kanina yung parang more or less ma-achieve yung 1.5 degrees global temperature. So the black line is the observed. And we have about 7 models. So yung kulay blue is now the mean, projection mean. But lahat ng kulay blue is already a scenario, no? Runs of the scenario. So ni-plot na rin natin yung observed from 2006 to 2017. So if you look at that, as if we're already following the mean of the RCP 4.5. Okay? Kasi yung scenario na yung kulay blue, no? Then, next is the very high emission scenario is 1.2 to 2.3 degrees by 2050. So mas, very high emission. But then if you look, nasa low, we have 12 models na kasama dyan, 12 ensemble. So around 1.2 to 2.3 by 2050. Next. So if you look in summary for the different scenario, next, is we have, pakipindot. For RCP 4.5, 0.9 to 1.9 by 2050. For a very high emission, 1.2 to 2.3 degrees. That is for the Philippines, not global, no? Philippines, yeah. Next. So what are the potential impacts of increase in temperature? So we need to translate these informations to the different sectors as well. PAGASA only provides the information in terms of changes, but the impacts, you have the expertise on your different sectors like health, TA, and so on. So these are some studies existing that if you have a 1 degree increase in temperature, you have a 10% decrease in your yield. This is a ERI study. So we encourage, we could provide your data for free for you to study further in doing the impacts of this to your different application. Next. So for the rainfall, iba yung ginamit namin kasi ang rainfall hindi katulad ng temperature if you see it na talagang patuloy na tumataas yung temperature. So the response of rainfall is different. So for the different models, we try to deduce it in 3, yung parang kanina nakita nyo probabilistic pero hindi natin ginawa yung probabilistic. At 12 models, ano yung median niya? Or 6 models are saying at this one, and the driest possible is the 10th percentile, or saying the driest possible, and the wettest possible is the 90th percentile. So how are you going to use this? If I'm looking at drought as my risk, then you look at the driest possible change. But if you're looking at flooding as my risk, then you look at the wettest possible change. So here, this is in terms of national, but we also provide it by province. So yung report namin, na andun yung by province. Next. So here are the possible risks that we can think in the future if you're going to have increase in rainfall. So this is Metro Manila. Who could forget Indoy, no? So yun ang titingnan mo na pagpaplanuhan mo in the future. Next. So yan ang if you're looking at reduction, then this is what you're going to think about. Next. So here are potential impacts that you could associate with increased rainfall and so on. So in terms of tropical cyclone, with the work with the UK Met Office, we have 5 models. So we try to look for the change in number of tropical cyclones. So 5 out of 5 models, 3 are saying na pakonti ang mga bagyo in the future, but then yung dalawa, there's no change. But in terms of intensity, 4 are saying there will be more intense tropical cyclone in the future, and 1 is saying no change. Okay? So we have also a report on that. We also have published a report that you could also download in the, you could access in the Journal of Climatology, International Climatology. Next. So these are some potential impacts of tropical cyclone. Although hindi na mangyayari yung billboards na yan kasi may warning ang PAGASA, binababa yung mga billboards. This was in Millennium. Next. So what can we do now to make our families? How could we use this information for us to adapt to climate variability and change? So, next. When are we going to use this climate projection? So if I'm planning for what to plant for the next month or for the annual crops or and so on, no? So you use your climate forecast, no? But if you are planning like your infrastructure and what to build, that could the lifespan of your structure can be like 30 or more. You have to include both the current variability, current trends, and the projections. So when are you going to consider the climate projections in your planning? Okay? So this is a sample for Eastern Summer, Salcedo. So we went to the ground and tried to test how they're going to use this information. So we gave them plots ng 25 by 25. Ang sabi nila, di ko makita yung aking munisipyo. So what we did in a 25-kilometer resolution, we tried to regrid it at 1 kilometer resolution para lang sa visualization. But actually, one grid is actually 25 kilometers. So usually, hindi namin binibigay as raw kasi yung mahilig tayo sa overlay. So this is only for visualization. But then what they usually use, we give them for is the table. No? Naka-table na yan. Next. So what we call the climate risk analysis matrix or CLIRAM. So we give them the table. Next. So yung binibigay namin is a different, what is the season, column 1. What is the scenario, either 4.5 or 8.5. And the different range. So range of possible future. So lower bound, median, and upper bound. Then, what we did there is we did a workshop for the different users. The municipal agriculturists, the MENRO, the planning officer, and each of them tried to fill in their potential impacts and what are their adaptation options. So mainly, sa kanila kasi type 2, so sinasabi dyan, yung December, January, February, you have increase of about 40 in the upper bound. You have about 45% for both 4.5 and 8.5. So, ang sabi nila is maapektuhan yung kanilang crops, no? So, that's how to work with this information. Next. So, this is a sample for Metro Manila and also the table. So, you can do your potential impact and your adaptation option. So, ngayon, ang tinitingnan mo dyan, ano bang scenario yung titingnan ko? It's no longer important what scenario, but you look at the amounts. Anong ibig sabihin ng amount na yon dun sa inyong sector? Halimbawa, water sa water resource. What does 107 millimeters of rainfall in December, January, February, and 164.9? So kung okay lang siya within your operational so ang titingnan mo ngayon, ano yung risk mo in terms of those amount. Next. So these are also potential climate change impacts on transport. and different parameters, temperature change, precipitation, sea level rise, and storm surge. They look at roads, railways, port, and waterways, and airports. So yan ang isang pwede mong tingnan in terms of application of these projected changes in the future. Next. So yun ang mga ibang impacts for the different sectors as well. But again, you have to do some deeper analysis for you to be able to do an action. Next. So our policy brief, I'm going to conclude now, can be downloaded in our website. So if you go to the climate, we have the climate projection, you have the dynamical, then we have two, we have CMIP 5 and CMIP 3. So nauna na yung CMIP dyan. I'm going to share my presentation, so no worries. So you can download the whole PDF, or if you attend next meeting, we can have a gift, no? Yung aming hard copy of the policy brief. And with that, maraming salamat sa pakikinig. And we work with different, not only within our country, but also with Met Office and also with Australia. So all data available, not only local, but also with our partners, is included in the climate projections. With that, magandang umaga.
Thank you, Ma'am Telma. So yun po, for our next forum, meron po tayong free na policy brief tentative on February 20. Okay, I'm sure na marami po tayong mga katanungan, and I would like to turn you over to Ms. Remedios Shervo for the open forum.
Thank you, Belle. Good morning to everyone.